Welcome back, everyone, to this week's episode of Booking the Territory, the Unprofessional Wrestling Podcast, where today we are covering WCW Saturday Night on TBS from May the 18th of 1991. I'm sitting here with Doc and Not Hard Body Harper. Harper will be on, or he's supposed to be on, I should say, because you never know with him. He's supposed to be on the Superbrawl review that we do, and that's why he's not here today, because he's currently working. But he will be on the Superbrawl review on Patreon at tinyurl.com/PatreonBTT. So if you're not a patron, become one. More on that in a second. Before I throw it to Doc, special shout out to our largest patron contributors monthly. Disrespectfully, Classy, Marky, Blassie, Mike, Childry, Joe Eyes, good old Justin. Thank you for your generous support on Patreon. Doc, let's break kayfabe. It's only been a couple days since we recorded the last show. How are you? We don't have a lot to talk about. Nobody's done any stupid shit, as you said.
Yeah, I feel like we need to go poke society with a stick and let them do some shit we can talk about.
Yeah, good idea.
Well, one big thing that we need to discuss is by the time this thing comes out, the glorious, wonderful, exciting NBA season will have started. So I guess it would behoove us to do a quick NBA preview show right here. We won't put this behind the paywall. Now, in communication with one another, we have both put it out there that our respective teams are going to go 82-0. You still feel good about that?
I don't want to do an NBA preview show.
Why not?
For one, there's no we involved in this.
I'm going to punch you like Draymond, dude.
Preview. But sure, yeah. 82-0, Super Bowl, suck it, right?
All right. Well, it's not the Super Bowl in the NBA, but
yeah.
Yeah, that's sort of a problem. Now, we're back after 3 days.
Yeah.
It's been a week for most of you, but it's only been 3 days for us. And really, if we're going to be serious about it, it's been like 2.5.
Not even 3, right?
I got to think that we must have been tempted to do a best of show. Did we talk about that?
We were never going to do a best of show.
Never. Okay. So we're not lazy.
We're not that.
Okay.
Well, yeah, I got no interest in best of shows or NBA preview shows and all that.
The first thing I think of when I see the words best of is whichever way I need to swipe to move on to the next thing.
Yeah, because you've already heard it, so
I don't need revisionist histories.
The only thing I ever did, and this wasn't even a best of, it was your favorite irritating Eagles fan, Phil Allen. Him and numerous other people sent me like clips or timestamps from previous shows that we had done over the years, and this is like 3 years ago.
What a mark!
Up till that point, and like there was the one where you said, Easter has come, Jesus has risen, and so has my dick. And then there was,
what's wrong with this show? I'm not like this in normal life? What is it about this show and me playing heel that causes this?
There were various clips like that in Meth as a Food Group and the Smoky Mountain Motel 6, where
that was
ropes
a classic
were on the walls and towels.
Yeah, this is turning into a best of show as we speak.
So that was just something that I throw up on Patreon. So it's like, hey, if you want to hear that again, here. But we've never for the main show done a 2-hour best of.
Well, if we did a best of, it wouldn't be 2 hours. How about that?
First off, I don't have the time to go back and pull clips. Like I'm telling you now, there were people who sent me the timestamps, so it made it exponentially easier. I don't have time to do best ofs. Like I gotta get the next episode watched and ready to record with you. Best of doesn't fall into that category.
Now, I'm not going to file what I'm about to say under talking in the building. But I think it's important to put on the record here. What are the odds that when we get together in a few more days, that Harper has watched the pay-per-view?
10% chance.
10% that he's going to watch it. Out of how many? 100?
20% chance he'll watch
20% out of 100.
Yeah.
You got twice as confident after you said that first one.
Here's what he's going to do.
He's going to pick out what he thinks is important and cherry pick things he watches.
Yeah. He's going to skip some stuff. He'll watch the bear piss on the ramp.
They're going to talk about the monkey, so I got to watch that.
Right. He knows those things.
I guess I'll watch Flair because it's the champ. And let's see if Luger and Sting and the Steiners get into it. And I'll probably watch Butch and Ron Simmons because they'll probably beat the shit out of each other.
Arn and Bobby Eaton too.
Yeah.
After that.
Okay, so last night I started it, and I watched the Freebirds and the Pistols. Any chance he watches that match?
Tracy's in it, so yeah, there's a chance.
Okay. So it sounds like he's going to watch it now.
Well, I guess the better question was maybe not if he watches it, but how much he would watch. Okay. Is probably the question that should have been asked. And then to that point, I'd say probably half of it. But he will not watch. There's no chance he watches the whole thing.
Okay.
And he'll tell you that when I go, hey Harper, what do you have from this? Bro, I got to be honest, I skipped this shit. I wasn't interested.
So you don't think he's all the way in? He's not all in on a Ricky Morton Dan Spivey match.
Fuck no. He will blow past that like it's just
Well, you shouldn't do that. So just in case you don't know the story, we're doing Superbrawl as a threesome next week. Those particular episodes do go behind the paywall, so you have to be a patron. And I'm interested because even though they built this soon, there are storylines here worth exploring.
You talking about the pay-per-view?
I'm talking about the pay-per-view, brother.
Okay. Yeah.
Now, speaking of being marks for ourselves, like you were a minute ago on the best of stuff, I believe you have found on the dark corners of the dark web a 5-star review.
Yeah, we do have a 5-star review. This is on Podcast Addict, and just as a reminder, if you would like a shout out on air, this costs you nothing but a couple of minutes of time and your fingers typing it in on iTunes or Podcast Addict. Leave a 5-star review. We will read it on air, shout you out. We did get a new 5-star review on Podcast Addict within the last couple days. So if you have sent this in anytime after, say, October 13th or 14th, we're recording this before that. This review is from someone that goes by LW96. I'm not sure who that is on either Patreon or Twitter or Facebook. So email me, bookingtheterritory@gmail.com if you let me know who you are. But yeah, he leaves a 5-star review, or maybe it's she or they, and states the best unprofessional podcast ever. Would give it 7 stars if it was recorded in the Tokyo Dome. The banter, conversation, no filter nature of the show is always hilarious and entertaining. Will keep you laughing, and you may learn something about the good old days of wrestling. Plus, as a bonus, you won't get constant questions from a certain Starkville resident or any plugs about slightly shady mortgages. Listening may also prevent people from swinging in Burger King coolers. Now, that is pretty damn tremendous, LW96. Thank you. That is really good stuff. Yeah, we don't plug mortgages. We don't plug anything. We joke about Burger King coolers and Von Erich things, and we don't ask questions from Starkville on this show. No shade being thrown. We're just doing our thing over here, man. What do you think about that 5-star review, Doc?
We're just living, man. That's all it is. LIVIN, living.
Yeah, just living the dream, bro.
You can keep the laugh and the love. We're just living.
I didn't send you that meme. I'm just thinking about it. There was a meme I should have sent you. I'll send it before the show's over, and maybe we can talk about it at the end of it.
Well, and I want to
about the way men live versus women.
I want to ask you. I don't want to divulge too much here, but I do. I want to just ask you directionally speaking, or yes or no. You got this is Friday that we're recording this on, and it's the fall in Texas. You got Friday Night Lights tonight to get to?
Yeah.
It's going to be a little chilly out there tonight. You might want to bundle up a little bit.
I'll take it.
Oh, you've been waiting on it. We've all been waiting on it. This is the weather we've been waiting on. You cannot complain now. Think of the inhospitable, inhabitable desert we lived in for 6 months. This is the 3 weeks of time where it's all worth living.
I don't know about that. It feels like it's been hot for an entire year at this point, man. And I hate it.
So you get out there, you get it's a little crisp in the air. You hear the band start playing. You see some young stud athletes get it on, and it's just there's a reason it's Friday Night Lights, right? It's a great atmosphere.
Yeah, it's actually a lot of fun.
Yeah,
a lot of fun. Not when it's 100 and you're sitting in those bleachers.
Think about them. I mean, I always think about this. Think about them boys out there in pads,
bro. They don't even let them practice in the afternoons anymore like we used to.
Really?
Yeah, I think from what I was told, they practice like in the morning.
Well, okay.
Maybe not now because it's cooled off, but like when they're in camp, like before school starts, they're practicing early in the morning.
So I can tell you on Latrell's team for soccer, we practice no matter what the temperature is. And because they don't really call games, but they are far more forthcoming with the rest and the water breaks than we would have been given.
Oh yeah, they didn't give us water back then. They wanted to break us. Like it was like, oh, we got to make you tough. Like just killing somebody from dehydration makes them okay. Anyway, yeah, they would purposely make you.
But you know those baby movers don't know shit about hydration. Look at Rick.
Oh God, just don't get me started on that. Not.
Okay, let me ask you this.
Oh God.
Is there a class action suit to be had when Flair wrestles again? Because that was billed. It was billed and sold as his last match.
No, because then that
was the name of the pay-per-view.
It doesn't matter. You'd be suing every wrestler known to man that's ever had a last match. Even though, I mean, how many times has Terry Funk retired? Like, come on, you can't. No.
So we had the Harper odds a minute ago. Now that we're a couple of months out, what do you place the odds that we see Flair actually wrestle a legitimate official match again?
I don't know if that was an actual match. That's the thing. Like, was he involved? Sure. Would you call that wrestling? I guess.
The bell rang and there was another bell at the end.
If you say what are the odds? He
came down the aisle in an official capacity in a match. What do you think the odds are now that he's been away from it for a couple of months that he does it again?
If you say what are the odds we see something like that again? Yeah, probably good odds, whatever those are. Like, okay. Sure, he'll do that again. I don't call that wrestling, but, yeah, we might see something like that.
Okay.
It's crazy, though. Think about it. Doc, I wanted to mention one other thing before we get into the main portion of the show. So I got an email from David C, who's a longtime BTT patron, and he says, Mike, I tried to add Harper to Delgado's notable alumni.
Come on.
I only need a picture of him in his Letterman jacket and a class ring so I can prove his matriculation at this fine apex of higher learning. I wanted to mention that because I thought it was tremendous. And he actually sent me a clip of, you know how on Wikipedia, if you go to university, it'll show notable alumni.
Yeah.
So at the bottom of the notable alumni, which Delgado does not necessarily have a lot of notable alumni, the last one says, and it's not on there now, it says, Chris Harper, headmaster of the House of Harper, gentleman wrestler. David, I applaud your effort. That would have been tremendous if we actually do get him on there. That would be tremendous. If somebody could Photoshop a Delgado Dolphins, I guess, Letterman jacket on Harper that would be phenomenal, and maybe we could get him on the notable alumni.
Can you imagine Harper in a classroom today, sitting there with a bunch of kids in their 20s, waiting on the professor or TA to come in, and he's sitting in the middle of the class,
holding court.
Yeah, and he goes, what do you think the teacher's going to look like this year? You know that reference, right?
Yes, he would be the.
And nobody gets it because everybody's wasn't born in 1984 when that happened.
He's gonna be. He would be holding court. Like if a teacher's late, it's gonna be one-liners and zingers and stories, and the teacher's gonna walk in and be trying to conduct class eventually, and Harper's just fucking having a blast, like having Hard Body Harper, morning comedy show.
I feel like I want to pay to enroll him and put a GoPro on him.
Just go walk in there, Harper. I don't want to go to school. See, no, that's the thing. Like, remember with him, you can't book it. It's just got to happen. He's not good at directions. So if you put the GoPro on him, it falls flat.
We learned a long time ago to not have pre-show meetings.
Pre-show meetings, because you'll get the gold and it won't be recorded. If you were ever wondering why the Skype is not working and things like that, well, one, he's late, but two, even if we waited for him, like, there's just bound to be something that needs to be on air, when he joins, because it's a disaster.
He starts in from the get-go and you're like, can you save this for like 30 seconds?
Yeah, and he can't do it. He'll keep going.
He can't do it. It's coming out when it's coming out, and you have to be ready to go with it when it happens. And if you delay it, you'll miss it, because then he won't come back with anything near the same. Right. You just. I mean, the true thing that is brought to the table in this show that I don't think a lot of shows do or can do is that the moments you hear that most of you remember long after we forget them were so spontaneous that the laughter you hear and the surprise you hear and the reaction you hear from us is 100% a shoot. Yeah, because we don't know what's coming. Dude, I still weekly think about that fucking turtle in the tank bonking its head while he's trying to get some. Oh, yeah, the turtle with the shell hitting the tank. To me, that's better than the deaf girl. I agree. Bigfoot was tremendous. The ducks. Because the ducks with warts on them. Remember there was two things. The ducks with the warts and... like we're in mid-discussion talking about something. Oh, bro, let me tell you what happened. Okay. Bro, I was driving by Suno at Pontchartrain Park, and a fucking duck hit my windshield. Of course, Harper. Of course. Why not, right? Mm-hmm. And I don't even remember what happened from there, but the ducks with the warts on them, the deaf girl, Bigfoot. I know I'm missing some. A yearly visit to Valentine's Day. Oh, Jesus. That may be the only bit he knows is a bit and plays along still. He don't care. He doesn't care. Well, as always, the show is better when he's with us, but we can't stop. We can't worry about who's not here. We can only work with who is here. Unfortunately for me, that's you. Fortunately for you, that's me. Yeah. And, be blessed and be a blessing, right? Yeah, be blessed and be a blessing. I mean, it's a good thing for me that I have figured out this note gimmick and haven't lost any notes lately. It's about damn time. Damn time. By the way, I had a bunch of people reach out to me to say, after you had told me this, why does T-Hog 94 was one of them, longtime listener, B-tier, patron. Why doesn't Doc just start on the second page if it's Eaton the notes on the first? I go,
and it actually happened after you figured it out, but the show hadn't aired yet. I go, oh, he figured it out. He figured it out. Trust me.
Well, here's the other thing for all of you helpful individuals. You remember what it was like when you had small children, Mike?
Yep.
It is a avalanche of requests and needs at all times.
That doesn't change, just so you know, when they get to be teenagers.
And
brace yourself.
And you know how at the shoot job, everybody but you is a needy motherfucker that always needs something, tugging on your pant leg, needing some shit.
Kayfabe, brother.
That's not our shoot
on
job.
The X-nay.
That's every shoot job. And then you know how you have a spouse that's always got some ideas and starts distracting you and talking to you about some shit that you don't give a fuck about.
Oh, dear God. Yeah.
I mean, I was thinking that maybe we should change out these curtains. Shit, I didn't even know we had curtains on that shit. I thought it was blinds. I don't know.
What do you think?
I don't.
I don't. You don't care? I just don't think about it.
It's not that I couldn't figure out to do the second page. It's that it's an all-out blitzkrieg assault on my senses every second that I'm not in here recording. And so by the time I sit down to start again, I just kind of go do it without thinking about it, and then I'm like, oh shit. And so it's not that I can't critically think or problem solve, you fuckers. It's that I don't have the space and the time to clear my head. Why do you think I fucking drink?
It's a blitzkrieg. You ain't lying when you're not recording.
I mean, for everybody who thinks I'm an idiot half the time, they sure want a lot of shit from me.
Oh,
and I don't
man.
think I'm the only dad, husband, coworker in this particular predicament, but I'm the one living this one.
Yeah, I actually think a lot of people understand it.
I do too. Like I said, I'm not saying I'm a victim or alone in this. I'm just saying this is the life I'm living over here.
And it's a fact. When you ain't recording, it's a blitzkrieg.
So I started Superbrawl last night. You know how far I got into it?
20 minutes.
One match. I don't know how long that was, but I've seen the pistols and the Freebirds. Now, I'm gonna try to get the rest of it done today because for a shoot, I'm the only one in the house today.
Oh boy! After this, you.
But no. Because guess what? That got sniffed out, and there was shit put on my to-do list.
That happens to me every time I'm off. I get the question either Wednesday night or Thursday night. What are you doing tomorrow?
Yeah, what are you doing tomorrow? And if the answer isn't satisfactory, you're in trouble. Well, I thought I would just sit on my ass and rest and let my brain heal from this week of work.
Can I vegetate? Can I vegetate?
Yeah.
No,
really?
You can't do that.
Oh, really? That's what you're going to do? Oh, well, I'm sorry. Did you have something that needed to be done? Well, I was just thinking.
I was just thinking.
Yeah.
Bro, how do they have the brain capacity to think when these kids just irritate them all the time?
And then you're in trouble. And you're in trouble because you ain't yelling at the kids with the same vigor and ferocity that they.
Don't get me started.
Why don't you care about this as much as I do?
First off,
I can't believe anybody would care about it this much.
No, the thing is, when
just know that I'm as amazed by this as you at you as you are at me right now. Just know that. Bro, I'm just sitting over there trying to be Switzerland, watching the fucking Bears play the fucking Commanders, and you're getting there's all kinds of like hard counts and fake signals, and trying to get drawn into a fucking land war, and I'm like, bro, I ain't listening.
Oh,
Tell me
man.
where I'm wrong. Tell me where I'm lying.
Let me tell you when it's going to get worse for you. When that little one is a teenager. You think it's bad now. Whew. When
the little heifer starts pushing the big heifer for supremacy.
It's not just that. It's just they think they have the world figured out.
Oh, yeah. Too many people think they're the boss. There can only be one. And you're not the boss until you need to reach something on a high shelf.
Like you told Latrell, let's go outside and look at the stars. Get out of here.
What are we doing out here? Not being in there.
Anything beats that environment.
I just don't understand. Here's the thing. I love my family. We all love our family. I just don't understand how everything can be important all day long.
Well, they work themselves into a shoot nonstop.
Right.
Everything's worked into a shoot.
And it's also a little bit if I create the fire, then I can be the one to put it out.
Yeah, I guess.
What if we didn't have fires?
Yeah.
So, I'm either going to watch it today or I'm going to start faking, get a fake stomach bug so that I can spend extended periods of time on the toilet and watch the rest of this pay-per-view.
We got to this point because we were talking about how you finally figured out to start on page 2 of your notes. So,
and I got it. And so here's the thing. When did Brian Pillman grow?
Hold on. Let me start the video recording of this.
He's looking Barry Windham straight in the fucking eye.
Ask the question again. Oh, wait. We're talking WCW May 18th, 1991. Now ask the question.
When did Brian Pillman grow? Has he been taking his athletic greens?
Sure. Well, I don't know what that is, just for, just to stay safe here. I don't know what that is. I don't want to get in trouble with whoever that is.
Yeah.
Oh, good. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I don't know when he grew, but let me make some mention here. First off, this was taped April 29th, 1991 at Center Stage, just like last week. This is the second half of the taping. The show opens with Windham and Pillman cutting promos on each other, but it gets cut off and you can't really see or hear much of it. We then head to Center Stage with Missy and Paulie. We're on the precipice of Superbrawl. And I'm going to get your thoughts in a second, Doc. Hold on.
The sun in everybody's eyes.
I'm going to get your thoughts in a second. Hold on. We're on the precipice of Superbrawl as we cover this week's show. Pillman and Windham are going to battle each other. Now, JR, Missy, and Paulie are opening the show. And Elegante walks out, and he cuts a promo and says he cuts a promo saying the stretcher is for his opponent and not for him. And then Missy and Paulie do some yapping before we go to the ring. The tape quality, if you're watching on the video version that we have for this week, the audio, I guess, is okay. But the actual visual is like it's being taped on the moon. I don't know.
Bleached out.
Doc? It's bleached out. There you go. There's not a lot of light. Definitely bleached out. So you can't even, it's funny because you can't even see Missy's face in the opening. Like you really can't see, God. You can't see Missy's face. So look at it. Like her hair is light, so it's kind of like creating a like
it's bleeding onto her face, but not
Stop
in a bad way. No.
Did you? I wasn't going to play it. Do you have any thoughts of the opening from these two as they do some yapping before we go to the ring?
El Gigante in Espanol used to be a heel move. Now it's not.
No, I think it's a heel move for some.
Okay. He's El Corazón de Brazil. Except Brazil doesn't speak Spanish.
Well, you can't say that. There are people there who speak it, but I believe the actual language in the country, the official, is Portuguese.
That's correct.
Yeah. They're the only, I think, South American country that is true for. Portuguese is very similar to Spanish. Not the same. Similar. Not the same. First match we go to, Big Josh versus Ned Brady. Again, kind of hard to see what we're covering here because of the bleached out look of this.
It's better than last week, bruh.
Yeah, because at least you can see it and it's not scrambled like it was. Ned Brady, I forget what Harper used to say about him. He used to have something that he would say about him real slick and smart. Do you have any clue what it is, or is it like everything else with him? We laugh and forget.
Don't have a clue.
Yeah. All right, any thoughts on this match?
Well, we do get mentioned here that the Big Josh is going to have a bear or two.
Yeah.
I guess
two of them to be exact.
He's not getting over like we like, so maybe let's get him a bear. Bears are over.
Yeah. In territories they were. Maybe dangerous, but over. Boy. Lawsuit
okay, so you've often mentioned that you do some heinous shit in the course of trying to be a pro wrestler. What about bears?
When I'm in my 20s and just don't know any better and I'm really stupid, sure. At this point in my life, you can't ask me that question because I'm answering it as a nearly 50-year-old, and I'm probably like, yeah, I don't know about that.
I thought the wrestler response was how much?
Like I said, in my 20s, maybe. This point in my life, ain't happening. Ain't happening. There's no amount of money. I don't want to die, right? You can't pay me enough to put my life on the line, I guess is what I'm trying to say.
Okay.
What else do you have from these two? Oof.
Not a lot. I mean, the payoff for Big Josh is at the pay-per-view. I mean, obviously.
Yeah, it's quick too. Big Josh hits the big old back elbow, and then
the doink drop.
The doink. Well, they called it the whoopee cushion or bombs away, and he wins. It's not the bombs away off the top rope though. He does it standing, coming off the ropes, and that was it. So then we go to from there. Lex Luger promo. It is very quick. Luger talks quickly about he and Sting versus the Steiners. And then after that, they show another ad for Oz debuting at the pay-per-view. Doc, did you have anything from Lex's rather, I don't know.
No, it was real short.
10-second promo?
Can you go to like 6:15?
I can. Let's see. Hold up.
Look at this.
6:08, 6:09. What are we watching here? You got to tell the people. The baseball cards, the Donruss?
Baseball cards. Donruss. So last week we had Tops. Or 2 weeks ago we had Tops. Now we have Donruss.
Yeah, it's true. I didn't think about that.
And I do not remember baseball cards advertising.
I don't either. Not advertisement. You remember, let's be clear, you remember baseball cards. You just don't remember advertising.
I had almost literally and literally counted one time over 300,000 sports cards in my teenager years.
I don't know how many I have, but I still have.
I got a bunch still.
A shoebox, and I have a book with them like in their sleeves, and it's got probably 60 pages of sleeves in this big old binder that I uncovered a couple months back. I'd have to go through it to see who's in there.
Yeah, I got that 89 Upper Deck Griffey rookie. Yeah, what's up?
I have that one too. There's I don't know if it's Topps. There's a Topps Frank Thomas rookie, I believe it is, that some of them are missing Frank's name on it. Like it's just a banner, but there's no name on it. And if you have that thing's worth thousands of dollars.
Do you have the Billy Ripken?
Mess up. The what?
Oh, God.
What? I didn't hear you. What'd you say?
The Billy Ripken.
What about it?
You don't know about that card?
No, what about it?
I think it was 89 Flair.
Mm-hmm.
They, or 88 Flair, maybe. They wrote, the legend is it was Cal, but I don't know. Wrote fuckface on the knob of the bat. So he's standing there holding the bat, and when he puts it on his shoulder, the word fuckface is now visible, and it got to print, and then they caught it, and then it got pulled.
So those are extremely rare. The ones that made it out in circulation. God, right. Isn't that crazy how just something like that, a rib, guys being stupid, makes it on a baseball card. The company, oh, damn it. Reverse, stop, fixes it, starts printing the cards as they should be, but 50 or 20 of those made it into circulation, and now they're worth an enormous amount of money.
Instead Crazy of the players that are awesome and like kick ass at the sport.
It's just, I mean, it comes down to a whole thing where it's just, well, it's a rarity, you know, like.
That's the thing that that Latrell's having a hard time with right now is that he'll get like I don't know, like he really likes, for some reason, he likes Chris Middleton in the NBA, who's a good basketball player, right?
Yeah, I think he's a good player.
Probably a top 30 player in the league. He's like, this is a good card. And I'm like, well, it's not. And he goes, I don't understand. He's a good player. Why isn't this a good card? Well, it's not his rookie card, and nobody gives a shit.
Yeah, it's not his rookie card. He's been around. He's won an NBA title at this point. Like, everybody's got that card. They don't understand the rarity. They don't understand the things that make things valuable is oftentimes not only the person on the card, but more importantly, the rarity of it.
Right.
And that's what any collectible. That's not just baseball cards.
Exactly.
That's why it's a collectible, because it's rare. Yeah, they don't get that stuff.
So anyway, baseball,
I get it.
Cards on TV, gotta love it.
Yeah. All right. On that note, we went to commercial after the Oz debut ad coming at the pay-per-view, and we're going to go to Arn Anderson, who is with Paul Lee at ringside cutting a promo. Here's Arn.
Back here on TBS, this belt is the world's television title belt. It signifies that this man is the greatest wrestler on television today. It signified that when Sting was the world TV champion. It signified that when Dusty Rhodes was the world TV champion. It signified that when Tully Blanchard was the world TV champion. And now, the greatest wrestler on television today, Double A Arn Anderson, defends this belt against beautiful Bobby tomorrow night in St. Petersburg, exclusively on pay-per-view at Superbrawl. Mr. Anderson, your comments, sir.
Well, Paul Lee, in a few short hours, I'll meet a man that has enjoyed huge success as a tag team wrestler. Bobby Eaton has all the credentials. He's as good as there is on the face of this earth at what he does, being a tag team wrestler. We're a lot alike in a lot of ways, Bobby, but there's marked differences. You see, I wear Caparici clothes, $700 cowboy boots, you wear Lee jeans, and high-top tennis shoes. I'm the world television champion. I earned this by myself. I defended it by myself for 1 solid year. All your success has been measured by safety and numbers. Somebody to do your talking, somebody to lean on. This is mine.
Hey, Big Mouth, you think all I am is a tag team wrestler? Well, tomorrow night at Superbrawl, you're going to think there's more than one person on you, I guarantee you that.
Oh, good grief! Arn Anderson just hit beautiful Bobby right in the face with a championship belt. Paul E. dangerously scurrying for safety. Anderson just smacked beautiful Bobby right in the face with a World Television Championship belt, and beautiful Bobby now going after Double A. Beautiful Bobby and Double A. What a matchup it's going to be tomorrow night on pay-per-view. It's a brawl right here. They don't want to wait till tomorrow night. Beautiful Bobby with those right hands, and down goes the enforcer. What a fight we have right here. Fans, we got a tag team matchup. But first, listen to this. Sunday.
They didn't talk for 20 minutes out there. The whole segment, from the time it started with Arn till the time they went to commercial for Superbrawl just now, lasted 2 minutes and 20 seconds. And I'd say probably 40 seconds of that was the fight. So Arn talks, Bobby comes out. But they're not going to sit out here and flap gums. They don't like each other. They get to it. That's all you needed to do. That's it. What did you think?
It was what it needed to be. Now, I do think that Arn has a lot of nerve talking about Bobby Eaton needing numbers to get shit done, but that's awesome promoing.
That's what makes him a heel, though, too.
Of course.
And then Arn's funny saying, he puts him over as this huge success as a tag wrestler, almost as to say, you can't do it on your own. But Arn was also a big time tag wrestler for quite some time, whether it was with him and Tully or, him and Ole. It's just, the hypocrisy of it to me is also what makes it great because he's a heel. He's supposed to be full of it. So I thought that was tremendous.
Now, a while back I said they should have, when they were trying to find something for Bobby, they should have paired him with Morton. Maybe they should have paired him with Gibson. Can you imagine who would do the promo in that team?
Jesus Christ, no.
The Mumble Brothers.
Good God, bro.
Well, we're not sure what they said, but we're pretty sure they're serious about it. There they go, folks.
They would have to be heels, and they'd have to have a mouthpiece. Like, you couldn't do it any other way. Because who's going to do the talking?
That's
that old thing where, like, again, you and I love the shit talking in wrestling. We think that's like a huge part of it. Like, do it, shit talk. Let's make it happen. And then we can heat things up. But there's also the thing where, like, I don't think today's fans realize when they complain about, oh man, this guy can't cut a promo. He ain't worth nothing. Well, Bobby Eaton couldn't cut a promo either. But to me, he's one of the top wrestlers of all time. Like, in the ring, Bobby Eaton is great.
Well, that narrative was passed down by WWE because they don't want to pay managers.
Sure. I'm not going to disagree with that at all. There's a lot of truth to that. But, I mean, we got to, as modern wrestling fans, and not necessarily us, but we always got to say, look, here's the thing, man. Some people just aren't talkers. Like, so just don't make them go to their weakness. No, some people improve over time. I mean, there's people who cut promos that aren't great, and they get better, but some people just are never going to be good promo guys. Bobby Eaton was one of them. I don't know if you even stuck a mic in front of his face if he would have got better over the years. It's just that's not his strong suit. But his strong suit is being a great technical professional wrestler or also being a hell of a heel and one of the greatest tag teams of all time. You can't argue. He deserved his spot even though he couldn't talk. Now, on that note, any other thoughts before we go to Young Pistols?
No.
We got the Young Pistols versus Mike Thor and Joe Cruz. I don't know. I don't have much from this. It's them against a couple of enhancement talents, and they win it kind of quickly when the Young Pistols hit their finisher. JR says tomorrow night they could become your new U.S. Tag Champions. But, Doc, let me go to you in case you have anything from it.
Just one thing. 1433 with the commentary is the key why everything doesn't have to be perfect.
Hold on. Hold up. I'm going to play it now. Here it is.
Takeover. Tracy in very deep at that time with the arm bar.
And you saw Mike Thor right there trying to counter. Mike Thor tried to get his footing and counter what Tracy was attempting. But Tracy is deceptively strong, and he pulled Thor over with brilliant amateur style.
Great action coming up this.
That's really good commentary. Because he explained what was really a botch.
Right.
Yeah, that was good. Paulie calling it straight there too, right?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, it's not him being a goofball. We know he can be a goofball out there, but that was really good. Any other thoughts, Doc?
Well, we need to get some straps on these pistols.
Yeah. Fucking pistols, God. You know what I'm going to do? I've been wanting to do this, but again, what you were saying before we started the review portion about not ever having enough time, I keep forgetting to go back. I want to grab a sound drop of Tracy saying, I ain't even been to Wyoming. I'm sure there's nice people, or whatever he says, because I don't remember exactly. I want to grab that sound bite from the Smoky Mountain Show and just have it for a drop, because I think it's turning into one of the funniest things ever, because he's not lying. Wyoming. Jesus Christ. They're too southern, Doc. We got to make them from Wyoming. They have the same names and everything, though. Good God. Okay, any other thoughts before we go to the next match?
No.
All right, so we have several commercials, and then we go to Nikita Koloff versus Rick Ryder. As I said a couple weeks ago, Nikita is now from Lithuania, like we talked about. And we do get a picture-in-picture from Nikita, who, again, is now from Lithuania, but he tells Tommy Rich he's going to hit the Russian sickle on him tomorrow from Lithuania. Hey, everything was airtight, brother. Then again, how many people during this era knew what Lithuania was and why it was different than Russia? For all they know, they could have been talking about a city and not another country, but I don't know. Anyway, Doc, any thoughts on Nikita as he ramps up for his big match against Tommy Rich, even though he should be wrestling Lex Luger?
I believe in his little inset promo, he starts talking about the night. He starts quoting from the night before Christmas. Something about it being quiet in the house and not a creature was stirring. It's May. Just so we're clear.
Maybe he was hoping nobody would notice.
Oh, well, I did.
don't know, man. He does hit a hell of a Russian sickle, though, on this gentleman right here, Rick Ryder, as you saw if you're watching the video version. He really, really laid it into him, and Ryder sold it good, so that's a good thing. And he hits him with another one even after he pins him. Doc, from there, we see a replay of Nikita beating this guy, and then we go to the last Superbrawl control center of Gordon Solie hyping up the big pay-per-view happening tomorrow night, which, again, Harper he's supposed to be there with his tux on and no sleeves, but I guess we will see. And
why does Harper have heat with the control center?
Why does he hate it so much? Like, it's not that bad, is it?
No, and he didn't have heat with the Starcade control center.
I think sometimes Harper is like a kid.
Sometimes?
Well, but you know how your kid just changes their minds on things like randomly, and you're like, wait, like 2 seconds ago you said you liked X, Y, and Z. What changed? And they're like, well, no, and they don't really have an answer. It's just whatever. That's Harper with the control center. Because you're right, he had no problem with the Starcade control center. So I can't answer that, Doc. I really
Hard
can't.
to say.
Man.
Maybe we need to add that to the pay-per-view. Special return grudge match. The Superbrawl control center versus Hard Buddy Harper. In a lights out, nobody gives a shit match.
Yeah, maybe so.
Maybe so.
One of the things that happens in the control center is this right here coming up. It is the York Foundation followed by Dustin Rhodes.
When that happens, stay with Solie afterwards.
Okay, you just tell me when to stop then, okay? Because I don't know. I don't know how long you want me to.
I was just going to mention it, but if you're going to roll tape, I'm going to see if I can't catch Solie's response.
Yeah, here it is.
A natural, Dustin Rhodes.
Computer match at Superbrawl. We know exactly how long it's going to take to beat Dustin Rhodes, but we're not ready to divulge that information just yet.
And Dustin Rhodes, I can't wait to get my hands on you. Everybody says rising star, you're going to be a falling star.
This is the natural Dustin Rhodes, standing 6'5", 260 pounds. And Terry Taylor, me and you, one-on-one in a computer match at Superbrawl 91. You better come ready, pal, because I'm coming for you.
Brother, what a computer match that's going to be with the natural Dustin Rhodes. Of course, the return from the rising sun.
All right, I'm not...
we got a brother.
Brother, what a computer match that's going to be. That's something I did not ever think or remember hearing Gordon Solie say.
Okay, so here's a question. Did Gordon Solie in his entire life ever turn on a computer?
No. Not a chance. What year did he die? I'm going to have to look it up. Well, actually, as I say, I'm going to have to look it up. Let me tell you like this. I don't care if he died last night. It doesn't matter. He did not use a computer. And I don't mean that to be funny, like I wish Gordon died last night. What I'm saying is he could have lived up until last night. And no, he died in July 27, 2000, at the age of 71. Computers were a thing in their infancy, America Online type days. But no, he did not operate a computer.
I'm not Bill Gates. And you like to get on my ass about computers all the time because you're not a nice person.
You are bad when it comes to some technologies.
But I'm sitting here with a computerized note taker, a laptop open, and a computer in my hand, in my paw, as well with my phone. And I don't know what a computer match is going to be.
Because it doesn't make sense. Especially in 2022 eyes. Maybe it makes sense in 1991 eyes for people who thought of computers in their infancy, but at this point, no. Why would we know that? Like, I don't get it either. It's just like a buzzword almost. Does that make sense?
No, yeah.
I mean, it's just like we need to call it something. So we're going to call it a computer match.
Okay.
And I'm trying to look on Wikipedia. I just want to look at how, I'm not saying trust Wikipedia as a source. I wanted to see if they called it a computer match, because a lot of times they'll have the card and the results, and they'll show whatever the stipulation was, whether it's a tag match for the title, a steel cage match, whatever. They just list it as a singles match. They don't even say computer match. And I'm trying to just briefly like scan the write up on it just to see if anyone else is like saying it's a computer match, and I'm not seeing Boogie. Nothing about you says computers. Well,
there's only one way to find out, and that is to call your local cable provider.
Yeah. Come on, bro. There's no such thing. All right. So after the Superbrawl Control Center, they did show like this video package of the Steiners, Luger, and Sting.
They've shown that already once.
Yeah, it's set to the slow music. It's just really dumb.
Mm-hmm.
But we'll see. We'll see if we like the match. We'll go into it with an open mind. From there, we come back from commercial, and we have PN News. I almost said PN News Jr. No, that's the Twitter account from a longtime patron of the show and listener. This is PN News, not Junior. PN News versus Sonny Meadows. He's jamming. The kids are having a blast. He's rapping again. He's gyrating his hips. He's messing up the raps worse than I podcast oftentimes.
Bro, okay, so I want to ask you about that. What are the odds that he can't hear the beat in that building?
He can hear the beat. He can't rap.
Okay.
Could
it be both?
I think he can hear it. He just can't rap.
Okay.
Because it's being played loud. The fans are dancing, waving their hands. It's crazy because the people are really into this. And when you think of PN News, you would not think of, the fans are into it. But they love this nonsense, which is why it's hard to be critical of. I mean, they're yo baby, and yo. Is that Johnny? Doesn't that look like Johnny Ace? I had a note for that. This guy on the screen. Hold up, I rewound it. I wanted to stop it right there. Doesn't it look like Johnny Ace?
Yeah.
If you're a patron, go to the video version. You'll see exactly what we're talking about. This dude looks like Johnny Ace out there. I don't know. But go back to news. Like, you can be critical of it and say he couldn't wrestle and it wasn't good. But, like, the one thing you can't say is, well, he does get a reaction.
So did the juicer.
I wouldn't call that a reaction.
He had a bunch of kids running around excited with him.
There's adults dancing for PN News. Juicer had a bunch of kids who just happened to be involved with the, walking him to the ring with the silly string. Like, any kid's going to be okay with that. PN News has grown adults in the crowd cheering and dancing and waving their hands like they just don't care, as he says. But they're into it. So anyway, okay, I'll continue along. That looks just like Johnny Ace. It's crazy. So anyway, Doc, PN News is going to eventually hit the broken record, which is the splash off the top rope onto Sonny Meadows.
Please.
I think the fans are into this, dude.
But
it's the
tell me
thing.
You heard JR.
What did he say? Which one?
The drop kick.
What did he say? Because my note, I had that.
He said PN News be doing some drop kicking.
Okay. My note was the drop kick wasn't half bad for a guy his size.
It wasn't, but if you get there, and I don't have a timestamp.
I don't either.
Like, Paulie calls him out on it.
Paulie calls out. Let me see
JR.
if this is it. Hold on. Let me rewind it. Let me see if this is it. No, that's the belly to belly. That looked terrible. That belly to belly.
Yeah, that looked like a bunch of shit.
Then he goes to the top rope. So it must have been before that. Shit,
it's got to be before it. So now you've got to rewind.
This is it. This is it coming up right here. Let me double check before I hit play. Before I hit the audio.
Yeah, it's going to be
Shoots him off. This is it. See, that does look. It doesn't look bad because he's a big guy. Okay, it is hard to get up. But let me hit play on the audio, and let's hear what JR and Paulie have to say.
Well, because I know Dirk Birnbaum better than she does.
Dan Bynum.
Yeah, whatever his name is.
Throw it, a drop kick.
Holy cow!
103 pounds. The big man be doing some drop kicking.
Be doing some drop kicking?
Well, I'm kind of caught up in the moment here.
Who are you, Run DMC?
I watch Arsenio every now and then.
You don't have enough gold around your neck. Oh man!
Belly to belly suplex.
Okay. Paul wasn't having it. That was good. That was enjoyable, man.
Be doing.
Did you hear the name Dan Bynum mentioned there?
Yeah.
He just followed the show on Twitter yesterday.
That's a fake account.
I'm gonna text Lance and ask him because
what does Lance have to do with shit?
Well, Lance is really like investigative reporter on those types of things, and he already follows Lance, and Lance follows him. So I want to ask Lance, because Lance can ask him a question on Lance has probably already done this. First off, he probably DM'd Lance. Hell, Steve Austin DMs Lance, okay? Dan Bynum has probably already DM'd Lance. And Lance has probably already spoken to him and figured out, okay, that is really him. Do you know that? Austin DMs Lance.
Why?
Austin remembers Lance from the Sportatorium.
Jesus. Tell you what.
And Austin follows Lance, and when Lance like tweets stuff about like the Austin era of USWA and stuff, Austin will ask Lance questions. And Lance is like, I never want to bother him. You know how Lance is. But he literally is on a DM basis with Stone Cold Steve
Lance
Austin.
Needs to get off the Twitter and get the ponies corrected. They got to get bowl eligible.
I don't know, man. Tulane's going to beat them this year.
You got to get them 6 wins.
Well, speaking of 6 wins, let's go on to the PN News 1, as you saw in the video version. There's a quick Flair promo. It was like 10 seconds.
Yeah, he didn't say
he's going to get Fujinami at the
This
Superbrawl.
Doll comes from the thoroughbred section.
Yeah, the Freebirds and Tommy Angel and versus Tommy Angel and Tim Parker are going to happen. But DDP and his Diamond Doll introduced the Freebirds, and yeah, Doc. Well, we can't really see her though. Like, I mean, you can't really see. Like, I don't know how you're saying comments about her. You can't really see her because that blonde hair is just bleeding over into her face.
You can see it at times when she cuts the downward shot up to her face.
Okay, and your thoughts on it? Like her?
She's quality doll action.
Okay. Not my type, brother, but okay.
Well, that's because you're racist.
Right. Big Daddy Dink is also out there with the Freebirds, of course. Quick match, Doc, as all of these are, because we only got an hour of TV.
Well,
anything in particular?
Speaking of this Diamond Doll, Paul Lee says that there's, and now I'm quoting, no plastic surgery on this broad.
Yeah, he's taken some hellified shots at someone during this time period, era, whatever you want to call it. It's kind of stiff. He actually says it oftentimes on commentary, and I just haven't really mentioned it or made a lot of note of it.
Well, but, Missy's going to have a response that may get her the Rolex here in a minute.
So anyway, yeah.
These guys went a long time.
It wasn't that long. Not by the time they started, because they fought around for a few minutes. By the time the bell rings, it might have been like 5 minutes.
Okay, it just felt like a long time.
It did, because it's you're expecting them to win quick. But what did you have from this? Anything else?
It went a long time.
Did it get the fast forward from your brother?
The interest with them fades when the bell rings.
Okay. Hayes and Garvin decide after it went a long time. That was literally in my notes. This is enough. Time for the DDT, double DDT onto Angel and Parker for the win. So Freebirds obviously win this match. Here's the double DDT. I guess it was fine leading up to their match with pistols. And we keep going. There is a promo. Let me get to it, Doc. Give me a second, because they go to commercial first, and then they go to the promo. Where are we at here? This is, if you, again, become a patron, tinyurl.com/PatreonBTT. You can see the video versions of these that we all do as we kind of watch it and listen and watch the promos. The as we said earlier, the video from this, the audio seems to be fine, but the actual visual it's bad. The copy's horrible. Definitely not in HD. Well, Big Daddy Dink is smoking and blowing smoke, and it's just a cloud in front of Missy's face. So you couldn't even see Missy's face before. You really can't see it now. Now, on that note, let me go to the audio, and Doc, I'll ask you what you think about it on the other side. Here it is.
Welcome back to World Championship Wrestling. I'm Missy Hyatt, and I would like to introduce the two gentlemen behind me that tomorrow night, if they are lucky enough, they will win the U.S. Tag Team Championship belts at Superbrawl. Also, their road boss, Big Daddy Dink, and Diamond Dallas Page.
First of all, where do you get off with lucky enough? These are not only the greatest rock and roll band of the time, but they are the greatest rock and wrestling band of the time. Now, the May 19th at Superbrawl, you can only get it on pay-per-view, baby. Those pop guns, they want to be called Young Pistols. Well, they're not only Sex Pistols, but they're going to drop them like a bad habit because they've never looked any better. Am I right, Big Daddy Dink? You're exactly right, Diamond Dallas Daddy. And when you called me and said I got a job for you to do, and that's to take the Freebirds right to the top of the wrestling business, I said, brother, I'll be there before you can spit. And here I am. And tomorrow night in St. Petersburg, I want everybody to mark these words. We're going to walk into Contenders for the United States Tag Team titles, and we're going to walk out champions. I'm telling you, champions, Young Pistols, I don't care what it takes. I'll do anything to get those belts. You tell a Big Daddy Dink, the bottom line, tomorrow night, you want to get on Grandma, pick up the phone and order pay-per-view because birds will fly. Speaking of Grandma, Missy, where do you get off introducing the greatest rock and roll band of all time, Big Daddy Dink and DDP, and not introduce the lovely, delicious Diamond Dime? Little jealous babe? You know, you think you're hot? Well, baby, this is H-O-T-T. Hot.
He thinks that's hot. That's hot. And we'll be back with more hot wrestling action right after this.
Introduce.
Ring a ding ding.
Dude, she was working it right there.
For those of you who aren't watching the video, she leaned forward towards the camera and put him on the glass, basically.
She
wasn't
like,
having it. This is her territory.
Right. She Hogan finger waved DDP right there without actually Hogan finger waving DDP. Like, she was like, she didn't let it get to her because, you know, that wasn't planned. She just kind of went with it.
She rose up.
Yeah, she booked the territory on him at the end right there. She's like, oh, you think you're funny? But she didn't say it like that. She's just like, let me show you what's hot. And she looks into the camera And trust me, at that moment, everybody forgot about the Diamond Doll. Everybody. The Freebirds are ridiculous during this era, and I love it. This is good stuff. We'll see. Dink made a face. He made the Jaworski face where his eyes pop out of his head, and, at the moment of crank. And
the moment of crank.
Well,
that's what
you know
we're
what
doing.
I'm talking about. I kept it clean, didn't I? That's what I thought. The next match is Dustin Rhodes versus Randy Barber. Flair does join JR on commentary, and Flair talks about how there are people who think he isn't the legitimate world champion because of what happened over in Japan, since the finish was so controversial. And I thought to myself, at least we got this from Flair, because I was kind of mad earlier when they gave him that 10-second promo, because I'm thinking to myself, your world champion is wrestling tomorrow night in the main event on pay-per-view, and you give him a 10-second promo. What are you doing? Let him talk the people into the building. Look, I get it. Most people have made their choice by now, but we are in an era where you can call pay-per-view. So it's not like you can't get it. Like, you can't order at the last minute. You're now at the phase where you can pretty much order last minute almost. So what the hell are they doing? Give Flair some time, and I like that they at least let him go out there during this time to talk. Anyway, what did you think about this whole match and Flair talking and all that?
Well, Dustin was smooth and what he needed to be. It was a smart move to put Flair out there to talk. And don't get used to Flair.
Say that again. The finish of the match, Dustin hits the Bulldog out of the corner and wins, beats Randy Barber. Flair also mentioned closing things out on commentary as far as what he had to say. Fujinami will go down tomorrow night, and Dustin will too. So he's trying to, weave Dustin into this, because if Flair talks about you, that generally means you're kind of a big deal. So I like that Flair, gave the young guy a little bit of notoriety there. So, all right, Doc. We then go to the York Foundation and promo. So let's see what's going on here.
Go to ringside now. Is that correct? Well, I guess I will. Fans, bear with us here. We're going to go to ringside. This was not scheduled.
That's Mr. Hughes forcing JR to go to ringside right there, everyone.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, certainly this is not scheduled, but Mr. Hughes is very persuasive. Obviously, you have something to say.
Yes, I do, Jamal. In the past, Mr. Rhodes, you have had a bit of an attitude problem. We're not concerned with that. We can change that. In lieu of that little problem, we are still willing to offer you the most lucrative contract in the history of the York Foundation. In fact, in the history of all of professional sports. I want you to take it, sign it, and become a member of the prestigious York Foundation. What an honor for you. You're aware of the meeting in the morning at the hotel.
Oh, they were meeting in the morning.
Be there and on time. Mr. Rhodes, I can make this very, very lucrative for you. And I can also make this very, very personal.
I'll be there.
Well, that should be a most interesting meeting tomorrow between Miss York and Dustin Rhodes. Fans will be back with more on World Championship Wrestling right after this.
Man, I give them credit here. They really make it, I don't want to spoil things, but it's almost as if he says he's going to join the York Foundation.
That's what I thought.
Yeah, I mean, because he's saying, okay, I'll be there.
Yeah, I'll check it out.
There's no...
I'm not a smart man. Lucrative means we're going to get naked, right?
Is this what we're doing now?
What? I'm saying that's what he's thinking.
No, that's what you're thinking. Don't play dumb.
They have children together, so I'm assuming that may already be in play.
That doesn't mean that's not what you're thinking, too, as you watch her from 1991.
How good is she for just
true.
stepping into the role?
Oh, I think that every time I see her cut a promo. She's so good, I don't even talk about it anymore. Like, it's not like she was trained to do this and had experience. It's just she's just good at it. She's damn good at it. It's nuts how good she is at this. She's like Tammy in Smoky Mountain, almost. Like they're different. They're different characters. They're different personalities. Tammy was a little shy.
Which part of the hotel do you think the meeting was in?
Come on, grow up. What are you, 7?
Well, was it in the conference? Was it in the business center or the technology center?
Oh, yeah, it was in the business
conference
center,
room.
Right. Yeah, I'm sure he businessed her center too.
What does that mean?
Because you're being.
Was it in the restaurant area? Did they have out in the lounge?
First, here's a legitimate question: did they even have business centers back then in hotels?
There was probably just a bed in a condom machine.
Like, no, I'm serious. Like, I don't even think they had business centers. Maybe there was. Maybe there was like fax machine. Yeah, you could have had fax back then. I mean, there was no computer. There was no Ethernet hookup.
And this is post AIDS or AIDS time, so there's got to be some rubbers in there.
Wow.
When somebody services the account.
Grow up.
What?
All right.
Why? For what reason?
Let me return. The promo was excellent.
So that we can be like wrestling historians.
What is wrong with you? I got a tweet I need to send out about people calling us goofs and stuff. I've gotten, like, people are like, "Oh, y'all are goofballs. If y'all were just serious, this would be."
If we were just
better.
Serious, what? What would change?
Here's the thing. And I mean this with the utmost sincerity. Like, the thing about BTT is we're just 3 dudes having fun, just watching old wrestling.
Turned up the temperature on our personalities to 33.
But the main thing is we're not, like, there's enough Meltzers, Kellers, Mike Johnsons. There's enough of those dudes out there. Like, they do what they do, and I ain't throwing shade at them. They do what they do. That's fine. But you know what? One thing they can't do is what we do. So we just kind of lean into what we do, which is talk classic wrestling with 3 buddies, just shooting the shit, just having a good time. I don't want to be serious. Like, that's mildly fun, but it's not this.
Was this tweet from a patron?
No, it's not just tweets. It's like I get messages on the Facebook group, BTT Facebook page. I'll hear, yeah, it'll be tweets sometimes. It's not one person.
Is it from patrons?
Folks. I don't think so.
Then why do we care?
We don't. I was just mentioning it.
Bro, all the internet is a place for you to give unsolicited and unwanted feedback to people.
Oh boy.
And look at pornography.
I just think it's just funny. Like, there's so many people.
Seriously, I'm gonna pull out my keyboard and I'm gonna change these boys.
No.
Really.
Well,
we've been sitting around with our thumbs up our asses for 7 years waiting on your feedback so that we can change and become a success. Play that out for a second, partner.
Here's the thing. No, it's not regulars. That's the thing.
I know.
But
I'm saying anybody who does this with anything.
No. Let me. And here's the part of it that here's the point I want to make. So, like I said, there's already Wade Keller, Dave Meltzer, Mike Johnson. There's all these folks who do this thing in, I guess, what you want to call a serious matter, even though Meltzer is a clown, the way he does it on Twitter. There's all these folks who do it in a serious manner. And then there's all the people who think or have aspirations to be the next or just like Meltzer, Keller, Johnson. Why do you want to be what they are? Like, I firmly believe if Doc and I wanted to do that, we could do it. It's going to be boring as hell.
Mm-hmm.
But I could do it.
SmackDown had a reported attendance of 3,700, but we've got reports that 1,200 were papered, and so that their TV ratings were 6.321, which who the fuck cares?
There are people.
But here's the thing. If you do care, good for you. There's an avenue for you to listen to that. That's what makes all of this great. And if you don't, I don't know, swipe right, find a Burger King cooler, do something else.
Stop it. No, it's funny because I see it, and I'm not mad at those folks. I'm just thinking to myself, but there's already people who do that, and they've been doing it longer.
What we need is to crowd the marketplace with similar products so that nobody can get over. They said something rude about something that I like, so I'm going to fire off an angry message.
Oh, I don't even think it's that.
I'm going to help. These guys obviously need my help.
But I don't, like, you're not, here's the thing. If you're a podcaster and that's your aspirations to be the next one of those wrestling journalists, one, I hope you have a lot of money, because you're going to have to spend a lot of money advertising your stuff in big places that gets notoriety so that you can even make a dent in the market that those guys already have. So unless you got a couple million
Meltzer's
to throw
got
away,
like a 45-year head start on you. Good luck.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Unless you got a couple million to throw away, and I'm maybe exaggerating, like you can I guess try it, but hey man, and I ain't knocking you. If that's what you want to do, more power to you.
Get some. Get it, Oos.
I tell people that all the time. Like, folks will say, oh, man, I want to start a podcast. What do I need to do? Get you a laptop, get you some recording software, and start recording. Well, no. What about, no. Just start recording. Because that's what we did. That's all we did. We just hit the red light, and it was terrible.
And look at us now.
It was terrible. Oh, my God, it was terrible.
Superstars of the industry. Talk of the business. Talking the business.
Covering events. Jobs because it doesn't pay any bills. Covering events. Oh my God, that story needs to be told one day on this show.
I don't know.
Doc, so now that we went on that rant, and hey, I don't want that to sound angry. I was just responding to things I've seen lately. I'm like, I don't want to be Wade Keller. I definitely don't want to be Meltzer. I definitely don't want to be Mike Johnson. Oh God, I don't want to be Mike
Here's
Johnson.
The other thing. I don't want to be Jim Cornette. I don't want to have to watch the new product.
I tell you who I think is actually the best at covering the new stuff.
John Pollock
and Keller. Wade Keller is really good.
Good. I don't want to hear it. I don't want to watch it.
No, I agree. I'm not, this is not me saying I want to listen to it and watch it. Pollock is excellent and Keller is too.
All right. That's enough. Let's get back to satisfying everybody with the classic wrestling.
Right. Nate Milton is excellent as well. I got to give a shout out to Nate because he's a good dude and he is phenomenal.
Brother Nate.
Current stuff. Brother Nate. I talk to him all the time, like just through text and stuff.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah, he's doing good.
Okay, so if we could, we're going to get to the last match here, which brings out Ron Simmons.
Yeah, we go to Ron Simmons versus someone by the name of.
Show me 101.57, please.
I will. Ron versus Jim Boss. Ron just immediately goes kicking his ass, and
in kind of a heelish way too.
Real quick, Jim Ross reminds us that Teddy will be in the cage above the ring when Reed and Simmons do battle. And yes, Ron is very heelish. You said 101.57?
Yeah.
Okay, so we saw a power slam. We're at 101.45 right now. Ron dumped him out of the ring, so we're going to get to what you want to see in a second. What are we looking for here, Doc?
Just a big old slam on the floor.
Oh, yeah.
That looked rough.
Yeah,
and the guy sold it well.
It didn't hurt, though, because of the mat, but it looked really good. Just a slam on the floor. It ain't that hard, guys. We ain't building a rocket. We got a guy here. He's multiracial. That's a problem in itself. Oh, boy.
I don't understand why that's such a giggle moment for you.
You're an idiot. But look at that sell though. Look, man, we made fun of like just Jim Boss guy a second, like last week or whenever. But look when Ron punches him here. Watch him sell his shit. Dude, that's phenomenal. He took that bump flying. He's dead. Look at him.
Poke him with a stick. Let's see if he's alive.
And then here comes Ron was really light on that clothesline. For everybody who thinks Ron Simmons is the stiffest bastard on earth, no. He was really light right there. But Ron is going to win. He's going to finish this dude off with the spine buster and wins as expected. Now, after the match, I'm trying to forward to it. The Angel of Death comes out and sneaks Simmons. Teddy Long is out there, and he leaves the ring eventually terrified. Honestly, I don't remember if this goes anywhere with Angel of Death. Just so we know.
Hey, let's bring out a guy that looks just like Nikita Koloff.
I don't have a problem with that. It's just...
Well, and the other thing is, they start acting like I'm supposed to know who that is. And unless I've been watching Mud Show Dallas Wrestling, do I know who the Angel of Death is?
Yeah, but wasn't he one of the Russian assassins too? But
that doesn't mean that line was drawn for people.
Yeah, I get you. You wouldn't know unless you were a smart fan back then, probably. Yeah, I don't know. I can't answer that. They do act like we're supposed to know exactly who he is, though. And that's how they go off air.
Okay.
And that's it. Doc, any thoughts as the show closes?
It was a show.
Yeah. All right. So on that note, you know how we do it. We do have to hand out the ratings and hand out the Rolexes. Before we do so, I want to tell you, remember, Superbrawl should air the day after this. It should drop on Patreon the day after this. You can get that by going to tinyurl.com/PatreonBTT. That is tinyurl.com/PatreonBTT. Not only a great way to support the show that is ad-free and a great value, but you get tons of extra content. Over 300 plus Patreon episodes are there, including the video versions of all of the shows we do. In addition to the audio versions of the pay-per-views and the clashes, what do we have? Clash 14, maybe 15 now, Superbrawl 91. So all of the pay-per-views dating back to several years in WCW are available on our Patreon feed. So as we go week by week through WCW, we've also covered the pay-per-views as we come to them only on Patreon. Plus, you get the World Class shows with Lance and myself. You get the NWA Power shows with the Little Fella Half Pint and Sean Sparks, the Transformer. And you get the ECW reviews with JV and Mike Prue, the Boston Bad Boys. So join Patreon.
What did they do that makes them bad?
Because they're from Boston, /Patreon BTT. That's tinyurl.com/Patreon BTT. Look, you know that idiot Jaworski in the Facebook group? He likes to make fun when I plug the Patreon stuff. Here's the thing. All these shows, these big shows that run 40 minutes worth of ads in them every single show, there's no 40 minutes of ads here. There might be 20 to 30 minutes worth of bull crap at the beginning of our show as we talk it up and chop it up, but we ain't trying to sell you a product you'll never use and never order. On that note, consider becoming a patron, tinyurl.com/Patreon.
Hey, do we still do the link thing?
I'll tell you about that off air if you've just catching on to me not mentioning that.
I did just catch on to that.
There's a reason. So, but I will not tell you on air. So
Bezos is trying to go to Mars, isn't he?
I don't know who that is. Anyway, I'm also still giving out free monthly subscriptions on Patreon if you are short of money or things like that. So if you want to try out Patreon for a month, email me, bookingtheterritory@gmail.com. But
have you not been doing that for a while?
It's been months, Doc.
Oh, well, I don't really pay attention unless I'm talking.
I know. You're like my wife. You just tune everything out that I say. Furthermore, like a broad. Yeah. I'm serious. Like, if my wife is looking at her cell phone and on Instagram or something like that, I just stop talking in mid-sentence.
And they don't pick up on it. But if you don't immediately respond when you're on your phone, bruh, it is a cage match.
She picks up, but it's like delayed. Once she realizes the noise there's no sound coming anymore, she looks up and it's like, what were you saying? Like, I've told her this lately. I will not talk to you while you're looking at that phone because you're not listening. And then you'll tell me I didn't tell you something.
Well, and do you get the promo when you're on your phone and don't hear? Immediately?
When she starts talking, I just put the phone down because I don't even want to go through that at this point in my life. Okay, Doc. So we need to rate it and Rolex this thing. What are you rating it?
Well, certainly being able to see, even if it was bleached out some, will will help. And I do think it was better than last week's show, which Harper gave an A. What the fuck was that about?
Well, one, he didn't watch it, and it was 48 minutes. So, and he joined 15, 20 minutes late, whatever it was. So, of course he gave it an A. He was literally recording for like an hour.
Well, you and I get shit for not taking it serious, but Harper seems to get a pass for not giving a shit about wrestling.
He gets a... Dude, it's the old saying. When you got talent, you can get away with a lot of stuff. You can get away with murder when you got talent. He doesn't even... Bro, he does not watch any of this until he's on the Skype watching it as you and I are reviewing it.
Do we have people that believe that? Because it's true.
I think there are people who don't believe it. I think most realize that it's true, but I think there are some that are like, no way, he watches it.
No.
He does not watch it.
No. He does not watch it. We're going to try to get him to watch the pay-per-view because that seems like something you need to do.
We've already discussed how hard that's going to be too.
Right. That seems like something you should do to be on the wrestling podcast with us.
Mm-hmm.
But we've already put the odds out there on that. So, no, he's not watching these shows. Come on.
Yeah,
he's just not.
Nope. Not a chance.
Okay, so this was a better show than last week. That I think I gave a B- last week, which was the lowest it had received in quite some time. I'm going to say B+.
Hey, man, it's a little more than an hour. I'm going to go to B+ as well. I thought, look, we've kind of just been, 3 yards in a cloud of dust because we've been trying to get to the pay-per-view tomorrow, the last few weeks. So I don't think they did a bad job. I think it's fine what we saw here, especially when you think about like Arn and Bobby. Don't forget about that in the promo at the beginning, in the fight. Are there things that could have done better? Yeah, but, the York Foundation, Dustin kind of leaving us on a cliffhanger, trying to figure out, is he going to join or not? Yeah, this was good. B+ as well. And we'll go from there. Who are you giving your Rolex to? Actually, I already know who you're giving it to, but I got to ask you.
There's only one choice for this.
Yeah? I know what you're going to say, Missy.
Missy, dude.
Yeah. Why are you giving it to Missy? What's your problem?
Because she put that trifling hoe right in her spot.
Boy, did she. Well, she really didn't put her in her spot. She put DDP in her place, in his place. Because DDP is kind of throwing shade at Missy like you think you're hot. And Missy's like booked his territory right there in front of the camera.
Let me show you what's hot.
And leaned over and Doc hit the Jaworski. God, you want to talk about a buffoon and idiot. That's a shoot. God, what a clown that dude is.
What, he's a long-standing listener, a family man.
Wouldn't call him a family man unless you consider the goo he shoots into his ceiling as part of his family.
Jesus.
I'm just the messenger. He freely admits to it. He doesn't care. This idiot watches Impact every week.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
Moose is still on Impact.
Boy, you want to talk about somebody that just fell into obscurity.
They need to get him an AEW with his old ROH music. That'd get it going for a couple of weeks.
He must be getting paid well and is just like collecting the money.
I think there were some personal issues.
With Moose and somebody in AEW or WWE? What? Or are you talking about the whole female thing?
Yes.
I don't want to say female thing, but there's some serious accusations about him.
You can follow the Fritz account for that Twitter account.
Yeah.
He's keeping Fritz is over there keeping everybody accountable for not beating hoes.
Yeah. Yeah. And I don't know if anything was ever proven, or I'm not trying to minimize it. I'm saying that's why I said allegedly, because I mean, from what I read, he kind of has done.
But even those allegations of conduct like that could scare away big companies.
Oh yeah, they don't want to deal with it because it's a PR nightmare for them. So like, yeah, why deal with that? Yeah, I'm with you, man.
And I'm not saying that's the reason. We don't know. All I'm saying is that if he had his old music back, I'd say that might get somewhere in AEW.
That old music was tremendous.
It was, and it was so simple.
Yeah, Moose, and I mean, like the fans were into it. It was great. It was great. But yeah, man, I take that seriously. And if he was indeed beating on a woman or his woman or any woman, he needs to chill out. And that ain't cool.
Kind of like Ezekiel Elliott has, where he's turned around his life.
If you say so.
You don't think he has? Why don't you believe him? Can a person change and grow?
A person can change and grow, but until I see evidence of it, I'm just going to keep quiet.
Well, how do you prove evidence of not hitting? He's probably showing evidence right now because he's not hitting a woman.
Great. Keep not hitting a woman then. And
when is it enough for you to say it's changed?
Years.
Because years. How many? That's a. Very,
I can't put a number on it.
I mean, while we've been talking, he probably hasn't punched a woman. So,
dude,
he don't get credit for that.
He gets credit. Does he get credit for doing what he's supposed to do, which is not hit women? Like, I didn't know we got to give credit to people for that. That's called just being a good human being. And
well, maybe not credit for that, but maybe credit for applying this sensitivity training he's received to his life.
Y'all hear this idiot? He wants me to give credit to Ezekiel Elliott for doing what he's supposed to do, which is not lay his hands on women. I didn't know that's how it worked. I really didn't.
I just don't know how he's supposed to be considered rehabilitated if you won't consider him having served his debts.
Did we give out our Rolex? Let's get back to this. Did you say Missy? I can't even remember now.
I said Missy.
All right, you giving yours to Missy. So it's not that I don't want to give it to Missy, because Missy was something else on this episode. Missy, come on the show. We love you. I mean, I don't know what else we got to do to ask you.
Come on the show so I can come on the show. What? I would be on the show with her to talk about wrestling.
Okay. Missy, we'd love to have you on the show. I know you're probably not listening because you would have had to get through all that 30 minutes of nonsense to even get to this last hour and 8 minutes or so of the review portion. But anyway, Missy, we'd love to have you on the show. But I would give it to Missy, but I just want to go in a little bit different direction because I like the way they heated it up. So speaking of just from an angle perspective, I'm going to go Arn. Not that Missy doesn't deserve it, but I think what he and Bobby did selling their match, you know, I think that's exactly how you do it. The day before, the night before, however you want to look at it, going into the pay-per-view, because you really got, I mean, that's one of the matches you look forward to on the pay-per-view, and those guys did everything perfect there. There's nothing you could do any better. Arn calls Bobby out or is talking shit. Bobby comes out. They scrap a little bit, running it back, exactly what it needed to be. Great 2-minute segment right there from those two. So before we get out of here, I just want to mention real quick, Hardbody Harper is still doing his life and relationship advice. All you have, or shout outs, or we want him to cut a promo on someone, you know, etc. All you got to do is email him, Chris Harper16, Wildcat with a K at gmail.com. Email him exactly what you want in that video shout out or life advice or relationship advice or whatever promo you want him cutting on someone. Chris Harper16, Wildcat at gmail.com. Be very descriptive in what you'd like in your promo that you want cut. Then go to PayPal. PayPal him $20 to cc30388cc at yahoo.com. That's cc30388cc at yahoo.com. Again, don't forget to send the email, though, so he knows exactly what he is cutting a promo on, who he's cutting a promo on, and exactly kind of what you want said. That way he can craft it from there. And thank you very much. Also, tell him what your PayPal address is, because, I mean, if he doesn't see your PayPal address, it may be different than your email. He's not sure who he's talking to. And I want to give a shout out to Our Vantage Point, the Retro Wrestling Podcast with Joe Murata and Michael Quinn, the northern version of BTT, slightly classier, definitely more professional, but still fun nonetheless. They support us over the years, so please support them. Good guys from the Northeast. The only two people you should be listening to covering that northern side of wrestling, sports entertainment as we call it. And check out Mike Prue and JV's Bottom Line Cast. That's their free show. They do the ECW show on our Patreon feed, but they do a free show on the career of Stone Cold Steve Austin on their feed as well. So check them out. Good stuff from them.
We're about to do a show on the career of Stone Cold Steve Austin too.
Not really. He just happens to be in the promotion we're in.
Spoiler alert.
No, there's no spoiler. I tell you what Mike did, though. He posted a couple weeks ago in the Facebook group after Harper's first promo on the McDonald's Happy Meal. Remember that?
Mm-hmm.
He posted a picture of the toys. I guess he went and got one to be funny. And he's got young kids, so he's like, you can always blame it on the kids. And he posted in there and made fun of, we all need to grow up, making fun of adults who...
There's a bunch of adults in this world that need a hug and need to grow up.
Has your wife said anything about McDonald's Happy Meal for adults?
No.
Okay, mine hasn't either. And I'm praying she never even mentions it. Put it that way.
I can't see a scenario where Mrs. Doc would be entertained by that.
I can't either, but when it comes to women, I just never know.
It's a mystery, bro.
Yeah, it's a mystery. All right, Doc. Anything else before we ride off into the sunset and get out of here on our Kawasaki
No, I got to go
mules?
watch Superbrawl.
Yeah, I got to watch some Superbrawl too, and yeah, all that good stuff. And like I said, I got a game to deal with tonight too, so got a lot of shit to do in the next few hours of the day. Fuck, I'm not even that far from heading out now to look at the freaking time.
It's getting away from us, dude. Time. We're going to be dead soon.
All right, man. Hit the tagline and let's roll.
Look it, bitch.